Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We just determined our first player to qualify for the main event, to qualify for OSC Championship. That was, of course, Baby Marine taking down Rex in a very close best of 5. And now we are here to determine who comes out next. Up next, we have Future versus BattleB. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets here on who you think is going to be the next player to make it through. Will it be the American Terran or the German Terran? Up to you. Up to you to decide. Game number 1 is going to be on Oceanborn. Predictions open. Here we go. As a quick reminder as well, there is a command in the chat, !OSC, if you want to support this tournament, if you want to support the OSC Championships via Kickstarter, then you can do so. Sorry, Indiegogo. God, I keep mixing it up. Not Kickstarter. Indiegogo, there is a way to, of course, help fund and help support the tournament. If you wish, you can do so. Otherwise, we can all sit back and enjoy the qualifiers. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our blue Terran player representing Matcherino Esports. It is Future. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player representing Berserker Esports. It is BattleB. And we haven't casted enough BattleB here on the channel. Again, he's been an up-and-coming player for quite some time. He was very active at the start of 2023. It feels like in the middle of 2023, he took a bit of a step back. He wasn't as active. He wasn't as... Again, he wasn't as active when it came to online events, so it's great to see him return. It's great to see BattleB return to form. But how does he compare to a player of the caliber of Future? For those who don't know, Future did spend a lot of time in Korea last year. Future, he was living with Scarlet, who was living with Estrella. They were all staying together in Korea for the majority of the year. Around October, or even just before that, I want to say around September or so, is when Future did return, just in time for DreamHack Atlanta and ESL Masters Winter. Returned to the Americas, and did compete in that event as well. I mentioned before that I do think the Future kind of underperformed in ESL Masters Americas. I'm not too sure if that's really, again, if it really does showcase like the kind of form that he's in. Future has been taking down a lot of big name Korean players like DRG, players like Shin, players even like Classic as well. He has been going toe to toe with them as well. So it's been really cool to see Future thrive over the past year. It's been really cool to see him return, because Future did retire for a while. He did retire for a number of years and did come back to competitive play at the start of the year. And yeah, it was really impressive to see him kind of spike up in skill and return to form. Here we go. The first Reaper has arrived again. A bit of a fake proxy here from Future, going straight for the SCV, but he will not get it. Reaper is forced back, and the SCV is saved. I love that Future went for a fake proxy, but BattleB didn't even SCV scout. Like, BattleB, he has no idea what's going on. As Future was just trying to be a little bit cheeky with his opener. Does arrive with the second Reaper. Going to be pushing up the ramp. BattleB does have the high ground. Both players will end up shooting, and it looks like Future does shoot first. Future comes out on top, takes down the first Reaper, shuts down the SCV, delays the command center, and things are escalating out of control. Going straight for that Reaper. Cyclone arrives just in time, and BattleB will hold. Phew. That was very close. The Reaper barely did survive, and BattleB is going to be able to hold on, but did lose quite a lot here. Lost a little momentum, delayed his command center. His opener was disrupted. As behind this, he's getting into a 1-1-1, getting into Cyclone production. Now, if you are familiar with modern TvT, you would know that Cyclones are a big part of it. You can commit to mass Cyclone production to get up to around 10 to 12 Cyclones, just for early game aggression and early game map control. You can, of course, harass, you can poke, you can prod, you can commit. And then from there, you can get into tank production and a more traditional form of TvT. As we can see, both players committing. We do have a medevac on the way, so Future's going to be going for a Cyclone drop. Meanwhile, BattleB just producing and cranking out as many Cyclones as he can. Now, Future does have the slight economic lead. Hellion does bypass the Cyclones, dips into the natural, going to get potentially an SCV. Oh, does get one. Cyclones are forced to turn back around. And they will be scouted here by the Hellion. Does confirm the additional Cyclone production. Future is going to be pushing. But Future is down heavily when it comes to the Cyclone count. In a head-to-head fight, BattleB will take this. But it's about whether or not BattleB will be in position. As BattleB moves out, and Future is moving in. So things are about to get very chaotic. Future actually stops Cyclone production. He's going to tanks. The first tank is halfway done, and the job does get into the main base. SCV is going to be going down. BattleB, he's committed. He's not turning around. As we get 5 SCVs in the main, we're going to get a 6th SCV as well. At the same time, BattleB, he dives into the natural base. The tank is about to bob out, but we are losing so much. The 5 Cyclones are getting out of control. They shut down the Marines. Tank is sieging, but we lose 11 workers. 12 workers go down, and Future, he has lost control of the low ground. At the same time, across the map, we lost our Cyclones. Future, he was able to take down 7 workers, but not much more than that. And BattleB, after having a bit of a shaky start, is snowballing out of control. He's like, mate, did you really stop making Cyclones? The hell? Do you know how to TvT in current era? It's all about the Cyclones, Papi, and with that, BattleB, he takes a massive worker lead. The one advantage that Future has is earlier tank production, that is true, but BattleB, he extends his lead by taking a 3rd CC on location. BattleB, he knows he has map control, he knows he has momentum, so he's getting further and further ahead. Meanwhile, there's a lot of pressure on Future, and we're pushing out. Future, he needs to get some counter damage done, as he catches a couple of Ravens. So far, good juggling. Auto turrets are thrown down. A Marine does get picked off. But clutch juggling there from Future, keeping his tanks alive. Banshee production has continued. We are investing into Cloak. But against Ravens, Cloak Banshee is going to have a hard time getting damage done. Again, we did make another wave of Cyclones. Marine production underway for BattleB. A disable has been researched for both players. Yeah, and boys are being pulled. They can repair. They can throw down a couple of bunkers. As the tanks are being topped up, and we are trying to get on top of the CC. The CC finishes, which means we can just lift and get the hell out of there. BattleB is getting away with his greed. But Future leapfrogging forward with these tanks. And again, his tank advantage is being flexed right now. Yeah, we can see that with these Cyclones, we just counted engaged. Oh yeah, we're just building up the Cyclone count. We're waiting for the opportune moment. Remember, we can disable, and that's a lot of Ravens. We pull the boys, and we disable almost every single tank. Auto turrets are thrown down as well, and BattleB should shut this down. Cleans up the Banshees, cleans up the tanks. We lose a handful of SCVs. There's 1 tank left, and it does fall. BattleB holds, and remember, he gets away with a 3rd. It's already in orbital. No fear. BattleB's up in bases, up in workers, up in Ravens. And Future is in a lot of trouble. He's backing off. Again, there was just so much riding on that push, and he was able to achieve a little bit, don't get me wrong, but again, really patient play out of BattleB, just building up that Cyclone count a little bit further before collapsing on that position. Really well done. And Future, he's getting into mech. Yeah, it makes sense. 2 more factories. Again, Future, he knows he's behind, so he has to trade as efficiently as possible. And what better way to do that than with mech? But we have a disable. Auto turret gets shut down. We get on top of the Raven as well, and Future is going to get cleaned up. A very expensive loss for Future. He escapes with 1 tank, but he lost his Raven and his other tank as well. 4th CC is on the way. We don't even need a 4th, but it's on the way as Future's taking his 3rd. BattleB just, again, furthering his lead here. Still keeping all of his Ravens alive. Tank production well underway. We're done. The era of the Cyclone has come and gone. BattleB, of course, came out ahead in that era. Now we're getting into tanks. Now, Future is not out of this. As I mentioned before, it is gonna be mech. So he's gonna be turtling. Right? We could be in for a long one. we could be in for a bit of a longer one here as we're just building up the tank count. We're just walling up, fortifying ourselves, and there's a world that if BattleB is a little bit too cavalier with his army, if he's a little bit too adventurous, then Future cannot trade him. 100%. He cannot trade him. He can bounce back. It's going to be a bit of an uphill battle here for Future, but it is possible. But this is the problem. Like, I would have a little bit more faith in Future's ability to come back if there weren't so many Ravens. That's the problem here, is that we have 4 Ravens full of energy. Each of them have a disable. We have a lot of Vikings. These Vikings, they need to zone the Ravens away. Ravens, they're just ignoring them. They're going straight for the tanks. Ooh. One of them almost goes down. So far, Future doing an amazing job here at zoning those Ravens back with the Vikings. If it wasn't for these Vikings, then Future may just die here and now. Vikings, the real MVPs. Future is pushing. Taking a very aggressive stance. How many tanks do we have? We are up to 7 tanks. Shuts down a medevac. 4 CCs being taken. Again, the tank count looking very healthy here for Future. We're on how many Vikings? 8 Vikings. Blue Flame is on the way. 4th CC as well. Hellions going for a dive. They're catching a Mineral Lion. Half a Mineral Lion. SCVs are getting picked up. It's going to be 5 dead workers here at the 4th. Oh. 5 workers for 2 Hellions. Good trade, as we're going to be trading with the Marines as well. BattleB pushing through the left-hand side. Remember, he still retained his Raven count. Like, because these Ravens, he still has diving potential. And these tanks are looking a little bit exposed. Vikings out of position. They do come back. Again, these Vikings are so crucial here to the defense. But BattleB, he finds his way up this ramp. The Vikings are not here. And they're disables. 3 tanks do get disabled. And BattleB, he just races his way into the natural. Tanks are going to be sieging. Oh, it's a one-way trip for BattleB. And he's going to be losing so much here. 2 Ravens go down. We only have a handful left. But the Marines, they take control of the main base. They take control of the production. They get into the mineral line. And SCVs are falling. The Ravens, there's no way out. And 2 of them, they all get taken down. Every single Raven. But we get the armory. Again, a really solid dive. 20 SCVs, the armory. We trade with the army as well. And BattleB pushing out with a second army as well. So a second army on the right-hand side. Marines and Marauders going straight for the 4th. Future, he's trying to get back in position. His tanks are just all over the place. BattleB knocking down these rocks. Again, BattleB has mobility on his side. And he's trying to make use of it. Skirting on the edge of that sensor tower. Future is splitting up his army. He's got 3 tanks here on the right-hand side. Repositioning the rest of his tanks here towards the left. Remember, the Raven count was reset, but because of all these Vikings, we were probably unable to make use of them. We go for the dive. The 3 tanks are exposed. 3 tanks going to be going down. We get on top of the Liberator as well. Future out of position. We go straight for the Planetary. The repairs are not good enough. Too many Marauders. The Planetary falls. Future is being pulled apart. GG gets called, and BattleB will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. We'll take the first game there. Again, BattleB was in a commanding position for most of this game. Again, the initial Cyclone aggression did go in favor of BattleB, and a lot of pressure was on Future to come back. Eventually, he was kind of forced into mech. I don't know if that was always his plan, or if he was, again, forced into it. And Future made a game. He made a game out of that, right? With mech, he was able to muster up an army that was quite terrifying, but BattleB did a great job at outmaneuvering Future. And with that, BattleB does take the first game. But that was merely game 1, and it's a best of 5. Plenty of games are ahead of us. Plenty more to come. Here we go. we are going to be getting into game número 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres. It is good to be back. It's been far too long for our second time tonight here. You love to see it. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have our American Terran player representing Matcherino Esports down in the series, but it's a best of 5. Plenty of games are ahead of us. It is Future. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player from the land of Germany, representing Berserker Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is BattleB. Let's go. I see the Cyclone chat has sparked. Sorry, the Cyclone discussion is sparked in the chat. When it comes to Cyclones being too prevalent, I mean, they're mainly prevalent in TvT. So I would understand if a lot of people that don't like the new dynamic of Terran versus Terran would be opposed to the new Cyclone. As we saw previously, like, again, Cyclones are very much so very prevalent in the early game of TvT, where you do require them. If you don't make them, then you can fall behind and things can very quickly escalate out of your favor, as we saw in game number 1. But that's where they are mainly used. Against Protoss and against Zerg, they're very niche, right? I feel like Cyclones are mainly used against Protoss with eBay blocks. Like, if you get eBay blocked, then Cyclones can really pull you apart. But we have seen the meta shift in such a way where Protoss players are no longer expanding at the third base location. They're just shutting down the eBays, and they're doing a much better job at scouting and denying them. So Cyclones in TvP have died down just because of that. And they get Zerg every now and then, right? There was a Hero Marine in Home Story Cup. It did go Mass Cyclone. Earlier today, we saw a Mass Cyclone all-in take down, I believe it was Mixu or Fiant. It's all blending together. No, sorry, my apologies. It took down Rex. That's it. Rex got caught. He got caught off guard with Mass Cyclone, but it wasn't all-in, and it was heavily reliant on Rex not scouting what was happening, as the Baby Marine was able to take Rex down. But yeah, I would say that the new Cyclone is currently mainly prevalent in Terran versus Terran. Speaking of, Cyclone is on the way. Going to be getting into our expansions as well. And the question becomes, is Future going to embrace the new Cyclone? We saw that it wasn't the case in game number 1. So far, getting into his own 1-1-1 based opener. Hellions are on the way. And we'll see how our players do deviate. And what kind of openers we work with. This time, Future isn't being anywhere near as aggressive with his early game Reapers. He actually skipped his Reapers entirely. Interesting choice. Because that Future hasn't scattered. He hasn't scattered at all here. Just now moving out with his Hellions. His goal here is to get a read on what's happening. And once again, he's going for a Cyclone drop. This time he is reactoring out the Cyclones though, which is not what happened in game 1. So we do have a different adaptation out of Future. Meanwhile, there are add-on swaps, reactor on the factory. Cyclones should be underway here for BattleB, as he does take a more defensive stance, getting into earlier Ravens once again. Meanwhile, Future is not stopping Cyclones, so here we go. We are getting into the Cyclone v Cyclone portion of TvT. Drop is moving out across the map. Is making its way towards the natural. And because of this medevac, basically Future has a lot of micro potential. He can break the lock-ons, and he can overwhelm the army of BattleB. But BattleB, he does have the Cyclone advantage, and the defender's advantage, and he shuts this down. Big lock-ons. And Future is being forced back. He should escape with his Cyclones. Yeah, he should be safe. But no! The pathing! Oh my god, the medevac goes down to Cyclone as well, and things are very quickly snowballing out of control. BattleB has a lot of momentum. BattleB hasn't lost anything. 0 units have gone down for the Red Terran. He's rallying everything across the map. Future is in a lot of trouble. Medevac, Cyclones falling. Too many mistakes here too quickly. And BattleB, he's forcing himself up the ramp. Gets eyes on these Cyclones. We'll back off. Consolidating his army, waiting for reinforcements. Additional Cyclones are on the way. BattleB, I'm loving this instead. Instead of committing, instead of pushing, third CC on location. BattleB, he knows he has momentum, he knows he has map control, getting away with that fast third. Disable is done. We're pushing in. Ooh, the auto turret wasn't thrown down in time. Bit of a misstep there from BattleB. Wasn't able to make use of that Raven. Boys are being pulled. Third CC under threat. Second Raven has arrived. And there's the auto turret. Gonna be adding quite a lot here. Gonna be trading a little bit evenly, as Future does hold. But again, looking at the resources lost, BattleB has been trading more favorably. Overall, he has been trading better. But the dust will settle. Both players are working on their thirds. Both players are expanding. Things are going to be calming down at least a little bit. And once again, Future playing mech. Okay. We have 2 more factories on the way for Future. Does catch a Cyclone, does catch the Raven. Big pickoffs. Very nice pickoffs here from Future. Suddenly things are swinging in his favor. We can see that BattleB is transitioning into Bio, Future embracing mech. Cyclones are moving out. Third base has been spotted, but it is going to be under fire. Again, BattleB has plenty to defend, though, and Future has to be very confident to overextend. The Raven... Oh, God. Get out of here, Poppy. Raven does have to pull back. As Future is establishing his own third. Economies are pretty similar, pretty comparable with each other. We do have Hurricane Thrusters on the way for Future as well. We're able to lock on the Ravens, but the Ravens, they survived. And Future, he is breaking through. He takes control of the low ground of the third base. Future going to be pushing in, but the tank has arrived. And suddenly, with the help of the tank with the auto turrets, BattleB does hold. Forces back Future. Third CC still getting up and running. Future, he's committing to mass Cyclone production. He's not switching into tank production yet. More factories are on the way. Mass Cyclone out of Future is interesting. We'll see how well this works. Like, Cyclone versus Cyclone is one thing, but trying to break, like, tank lines and siege lines is a difficult thing to do with this. That's where the Ravens really come into play. We need those disables. We need the Ravens to come in clutch to push in. Meanwhile, BattleB, again, working towards Stim. Combat Shields 1-1 is finishing up. Future does have the slight economic advantage. He's getting his 4th CC on location, by the way. BattleB, one step behind when it comes to his 4th, and being behind economically against mech is a terrifying thing to really terrifying position to be in. BattleB is pushing. He does have control of the Zonaga. Planetary about to finish. BattleB, he scans, he sees the mass Cyclone, and he also does glimpse the Planetary. And BattleB is going to be slowly falling behind. Future has got a full base, soon to be operational. It's maxing out on pure Cyclone at this point. I love that in game 1, Future avoided the Cyclones and of course died. And here he's like, nah, all in, Bobby. Going all in on pure Cyclone. Now, how many tanks do we have? We have 4 tanks. Scans do reveal that. Again, these Ravens are going to be so crucial to whether or not Future can break any of these positions. Remember, Cyclones are quite fragile. And a bit of mispathing here. 2 Cyclones, they go down for free. Future's going to be careful. At the same time, a massive Marine counterattack here on the right-hand side. Almost catches some Cyclones. Not quite. Just vying for map control. On the Betamax. A big anti-armor missile as we do try to collapse on top of these Marines. Likewise, another anti-armor missile here on the Cyclones. Good kiting from Future, but does bleed out a bit too much. Oh no! There we go. Future has to be very careful with his movements, and this I appreciate. Now we're transitioning out of Cyclone into tanks and Hellions. Again, going pure Cyclone really doesn't scale well into the late game, but a big anti-armor missile on both armies. Tanks are a little bit late to the party. Yeah, big disables on the tanks. The tanks are just not adding too much whatsoever, but the Marines, they stem forward. BattleB, he will barely hold on to this position. Not too sure how much pushing power he has with this, but he is not stopping. Oh my god. Okay, we're going straight for the third. Everything just rallying across the map. Tanks are in position. Ravens are out of energy. Big tank shot's going to be going off. The boys are being pulled. And it looks like Future should barely be able to hold on. Yeah, he does have the vision. Does outrange BattleB. But if you're curious if you want to play mech, whether it's against Zerg, whether it's against Terran, Cyclone is good for the early to mid game, but it does get outscaled, so you do have to back the hell off of that. Get into tanks, get into Hellions. A much more traditional form of mech at this point. You do need a solid backbone to your army. Fifth base is being taken. BattleB looking to try to catch this as it is being set up. Tanks are sieging, but there's not much to protect them. We thought about going for the dive. We are denying this CC. At the same time, we try to push in the left-hand side, but the Vikings are in position. BattleB being forced back. But he gets into the middle line. Every single SCV here going to be going down. Future losing his economic advantage as BattleB gets his own 5th up and running. With pole positioning, Hellion Rabbi comes in, who does roast up a decent chunk of workers. Base is getting very low. The game is going to be slowing down. We do see that BattleB is now taking to the skies, going for 2 more starports, triple starport production in total, going Mass Viking into Liberators. That's a good way to break a meching player. Because TvT initially is about tanks, true, but soon it's going to be about Vikings and Liberators. More so than tanks. As we drop on top of the oh my god! So we do drop on top of the tanks, get 1. Future still just trying to fortify himself. How many Vikings do we have? We have 10 Vikings for Future. Fusion Core on the way for BattleB. He's soon going to be getting into his own Viking production. Tanks are within range. Future just completely walling off here with turrets and sensor towers. BattleB does have to back up. Future getting caught out. How many tanks do we have? 20 tanks here for Future, as yeah, he's going to be committing. But there are so many Marauders in his path. Forcing out sieges. Liberators are on the way. And BattleB has to give up on this position. He cannot stop the wave of tanks that are coming out. Madrak's going to be falling. BattleB bringing the rest of his army over. Vikings have arrived. BattleB has a Viking lead, by the way. He's been slowly amassing them, but a big anti-arm missile. And BattleB has to back off. The CC is going to go down. Oh, it's going to be a kill in the command center. The tanks are within range, and BattleB is being bullied further and further back. slow siege is upon us. Future, he takes down one CC, takes down another. And that's going to be a kill. The orbital does go down. And we're camping the production. Marines, they still won for it, but there were too many tanks. Far too many tanks here, but it looks like BattleB, he wins out in the skies. Liberators have arrived, and he's going to be forcing Future back. Remember, at first it's about the tanks, but now it's about the Sky Terran. Vikings, they land. Oh, not too sure about this. All these tanks are going to be cleaned up. That was a costly trade for BattleB. He had air control and air superiority. Does he still have it, though? He does, okay. He does, as Future is getting into Thor production to help support his air. To help support his Vikings. Again, the reality is that even though Future was forced back, he is still up in economy. He's got 90 SCVs. He took down 2 bases. Future, he's going to be able to remax faster than BattleB. BattleB's still recovering. And Future just not giving him a moment to breathe. He returns with a second army already. BattleB, he needs time. He's making 6 Liberators at a time. BattleB's got the Viking lead. But the Thors are going ham. Future within range of another planetary. Another base going to be burning down. BattleB just hasn't been able to go for any drop play. I mean, Future, he has reinforcements back at home. He's ready for a counterattack. BattleB does have a Liberator lead, but doesn't have the Vikings. He's slowly leapfrogging forward. But the Thors, they outrange. The Thors are here. BattleB going for a counterattack, a little bit desperate. Planetary burns down. BattleB still has top left. He's going for a big counterattack. He can maybe snipe a base. I don't think he can touch the planetary though. He gets on top of the orbital. Orbital is going to go down. Here come the reinforcements at the same time. At Future, he takes out top left. We got the mass lid. The freedom has arrived. Oh my god. They're going to go ham here on these tanks. The planetary still falls though. And that's what matters. BattleB, his economy in shambles. He's got 2 mining bases, if that, 1.5 bases essentially. BattleB just doesn't have the economy to sustain himself. Not anymore. Future, he's played mech 2 games in a row so far. Are we going to see nothing but mech out of Future? Is that what's happening? Oh my god, how many lives? Jesus, I was just not expecting that. He takes out everything on the ground. The rest of the army, though, does just walk out of range of the liberation zones. I appreciate the army here out of BattleB, but it's just a numbers game at this point. And again, he just doesn't have the economy. That's going to be the main base. Sorry, that's going to be the natural floating over. The main base floated towards the 3rd. Again, some desperation here out of BattleB, just trying desperately to get an economy up and running. He basically has pure Viking live. That's his army right now. And Future is making 5 Thors at a time. Yeah, just pulling back to the safety of the Thors. Liberation has arrived. Oh my god, the splash damage from the Liberators. The Vikings going to be going ham. The Thors trying to get out of range of those liberation zones as well. It looks like the Vikings of BattleB will come out on top. But what about the Thors? As they take down every single lib. And that means there's nothing to do with the ground army. There's 1 Liberator left. GG gets called and Future fights back, tying up the series 1-1. GG. We have a series. We have a back and forth. Again, Future in game 1 looked like he was kind of forced into mech after falling behind. Here in game 2, from ahead, you know, after having a bit of a stronger start. I mean, initially things were looking dire. don't get me wrong, initially things were looking dire, but then he was able to just get into his 3-base economy, get into a much faster 4th, take an economic lead, run with it, and be hyper aggressive with eventually his tanks. Started off with mass Cyclone, but eventually got out of that, and GG. With that, we are tied up 1-1. The question becomes, mech again? Do we ever get mech versus mech? I hope not. For my sake, for everyone's sake, I hope not. But we'll see, we'll see. We'll see if BattleB does embrace that. As we're going to be getting into game number 3. Let's go. Here we go. So we are going to be loading on in. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have our American Terran player, the blue Terran representing Maturino Esports, tying up the series 1-1 in that last game. It is Future. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the German Terran player, the red Terran representing Berserker Esports. It is BattleB. Go. Mercury. Not like this. Not like this. As we are here to determine who takes a lead. Who takes a lead in this series. Which direction will we go in? As we're getting into double gas openers once again. So double gas here from Future, double gas from BattleB. We're going into delayed economies and delayed expansions into faster factories instead. Now we are loading into hard lead. Now, hard lead is a very small map, very short rush distance by ground. I expect Cyclone aggression this game, 100% from both players. It is very commonplace here on hard lead, and typically it feels like if you don't really conform and if you don't become aggressive yourself, then you can end up falling behind. So we'll see how committed our players become, and how aggressive we are here on this map. Again, we should be seeing faster factories. We have a factory on the way for BattleB, factory on the way here for Future. We should be going into delayed expansions. One-base all-ins are a thing in TvT, but they're very rare, and I don't expect any of these players to really whip that out here and now. I would not put it past Future to one-base all-in at some point in this series, but I'm not really feeling it here. Not yet. Maybe if he takes a lead. As we are going for our factory expands from both players. CC's on the low ground. Future going to be coming in with his first Reaper. A bit of a risky maneuver here. Ooh, as yeah, BattleB does shoot first, does get extra DPS on the Reaper itself, and Future has to back off. I'm going to rotate into the main base for a bit of scouting information. He does get eyes on the factory and on the reactor on the way. From here, Future going to be retreating. Getting into his own setup, getting into his own 1-1-1. Now, important to take note that Future is going for a slightly faster starport here, for potentially a faster drop play. There we go. Cyclone production has commenced. The defensive Cyclone has arrived. Reapers are being forced back. Ooh, and Future does delay the CC on the low ground. Very nicely done. It did pull away the attention of BattleB, does delay the expansion behind this. Ooh, we thought about going for a Cyclone drop, but no, we're going for a fast Liberator. Meanwhile, BattleB... Okay, wait. My apologies. I saw the CC done for Future. I was like, yo, is he throwing down a third CC? Nah, it's just still on the way. It's just heavily delayed. I didn't realize. Didn't realize how late it was, but it is finishing up. We go for the add-on swap. Mass Cyclone here from both players. As I mentioned before, it's hard lead. Hard lead, I expect aggression. We expect to be in each other's faces as much as possible. Really interesting to see Future go for a Liberator instead. I'm really interested to see how this dynamic works. So on the one hand, it does make Future's Cyclones weaker because he can't micro. BattleB is going for a Cyclone drop. He can, of course, juggle his Cyclones, break lock-ons, and sustain himself. Future won't have that available to himself, as his Liberator is going to be pushing across the map. Future's moving out, BattleB is moving in. Uh-oh. We're going to end up in a really awkward position here as BattleB, he does get into the middle line. SCVs and Mule's going to be going down. Meanwhile, BattleB, I'm sure, is aware that, hold up, where's your army? It's moving out. It's moving out across the map. As Future has lost control of his natural base, likewise can BattleB defend back at home. Does pick up. BattleB loses one Cyclone. Likewise, a lot of workers going to be going down. Trading 4 for 4. BattleB losing an extra SCV. Future taking a worker lead. Liberator gets into the main. And got a couple of worker kills. Not too bad. Gets eyes on the third. There we go. Does get eyes on the very fast third CC here from BattleB. So now I can figure out BattleB. What I assumed was happening earlier is actually happening. Fast third. Unfortunately, he did lose a lot of workers. So even though he has a fast third base, it's not as amazing as it otherwise would have been, just because he's falling behind quite heavily here in the economy. So this command center isn't to take a lead, it's to keep up and to catch up in the worker count. Behind this, Future is doubling down on aggression. Still continuing Cyclone production, and we have Banshees, Cloak Banshees on the way. Behind this, we have a bit of a later command center, but Future has map control. He has the larger army, and he's going to be able to assert himself and contain BattleB to 2 bases. At least, I believe that's his goal. His goal is to delay this expansion for as long as possible, and to get into his own. Cyclone's going to be clashing, auto turrets are thrown down. BattleB taking a better fight. Again, he has those Ravens to support. At the same time, we do have the Banshee coming in from behind. SCVs are going down. BattleB, he turns back around as well. It's going to be 6 dead workers. BattleB was in the middle of pushing. And we're not done. We have a second and a third Banshee on the way. And of course, we're still playing mech. God. Look, I'm going to sound crazy. I've seen Future play Bio before. I've seen him do it. I swear. He can make Marines. I believe. Luck light away. He's talking crazy. Future never made a Marine in his life. Not like this. But yeah, additional factories are on the way. Future embracing the mech every game so far. And I mean, he is crippling the economy. I mean, Future, he's got 52 workers to the 35 of BattleB. BattleB is pretty all in. He's pretty all in at this point. He does catch a Banshee. Nice pickoff. Something finally going BattleB's way. He has Ravens. He has potential. Here we go. He's looking to deny that third. The Cyclone count in favor. Actually, even Cyclone count between the 2 players. Boys are being pulled. Going for a drop into the main. Workers still going down. We even shut down the Cyclone in the main. Does fall. Future, he deflects the army. We do have the drop into the main base. Boys are being pulled. A lot of SCVs are going down. A lot of SCVs are falling. But Future still has a worker lead despite this. And across the map, he's breaking into the natural base as well. Ooh, never mind. Running into a wall of auto turrets. Future overextending. But doesn't matter because the Banshee is still wreaking havoc. 8 kills. Finally, it goes down. But just when it looks like BattleB, something is going in his way, right? Where he kills 9 SCVs across the map. He takes a better fight with the Cyclones. He still loses even more workers. He's down 10, 12 SCVs. Third base is being taken. Future, his is already up and running. We have Macfield. Oh God, I keep saying Macfield. Hurricane thrusters on the way. Tank production as well. Throwing down additional factories. And BattleB is soon going to be pushing and soon going to be looking to deny this command center. Future, he's in the driver's seat. BattleB going into double starport already. Oh my god. Okay. Triple starport production this quickly to go into Mass Viking. I mean, it's a bit of a risky maneuver. It's a bit of a Hail Mary play, but I mean, it can help you recover. It can give you a little bit of breathing room when it comes to shutting down the Ravens, the air control, but this is the case. Like, this would be really good if Future was going into tank production, but he's not. He's going to Cyclones. These Vikings aren't going to be as impactful, and I am very concerned. Very concerned here for BattleB. Future scans, he sees the lack of fourth. As Future gets ready for his own. Cyclones are amassing. We do have Stim. We have a handful of Marines, but yeah, we dive on top of this third base. BattleB out of position. Workers going to be going down. The tanks, they siege, and there's no saving this base. There's no holding on to it. There's far too much DPS. 18, 19 SCVs go down. And we're not done. Not even close. And BattleB just being bullied back. It's going to be 22 workers going down. And from here, Future can just back off, regroup, recover. Rotate back around. This BattleB is forced to expand here at the linear third base location instead. And Future rotating around again, still maintaining his worker lead. He's got his fourth, soon to be up and running on location. He's got tanks, Cyclones, Blue Flame about to finish up. Going to be rotating around. He does scan. He's not aware where the base is being taken, so he's rotating back here to the triangular third, but there's nothing to kill. Thankfully for BattleB. But from here, Future can just push into the natural. And he's going for it. Now, we do have some tanks on the high ground. BattleB getting into his own kind of Sky Terran. Tanks within range of the starports, though. Oh my god, that's brutal. Yeah, one starport does go down. The other starport within range as well. The plan of going Mass Viking, it's not panning out here. Liberators are sieging. Starport has to back off. Future retreats for a moment, and BattleB, even though he has all these Raxes, he is mainly producing tanks and Vikings. He's going into his own mech, kind of, but we do have some more Raxes on the way. Never mind. Playing bio still. Trying to. BattleB is attempting to expand here at the central location. Tanks are sieging, Liberator siege as well. Big disables. But Future, it looks like he has an overwhelming army. He's trying to break through. The Liberator's doing a lot of damage, though. Yeah, the two tanks are holding. Liberator's forcing the unsiege. Future just doesn't have enough anti-air. And the Viking Lib is keeping BattleB in this game. Liberator siege, and Future, he just bypasses the army. Going straight for the orbital. And BattleB not where he needs to be, once again out of position. GG gets pulled, and Future will take a 2-1 lead in this qualifying match. GG. GG, well played. Again, things got very chaotic early on with both players being aggressive with Cyclones. But again, with the added kind of flair there of Cyclone Lib Banshee out of Future, he was able to pull BattleB apart. He was able to cripple the economy, get ahead in that way, and then eventually transition, of course, into mech by being ahead in the base count and the worker count in almost every which way. GG, well played. And with that, Future needs one more win here, one more game to qualify for the OSC Championships. BattleB needs to win here and now to force the ace match. Can we force out game number 5? Can we get there? We're here to find out. Boy, here we go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Site Delta, we have the blue Terran player representing Matcherino Esports, leading the series 2-1. One more Unamas is all he needs. It is Future. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player from the land of Germany representing Berserker Esports. It is BattleB. See the chat. BattleB is on 3 orbitals. He's fine, Poppy. Oh my god, as we are, yeah, we're done with this. Here we go, Future. Going for a Proxy 2-Rax here across the map. Proxy 2-Rax Reaper going to be on the way for Future. Meanwhile, BattleB. Are we for the first time this series going for an economic opener? We shall see how this all comes together as Future going for those 2 Raxes here on the low ground. I am concerned if BattleB goes for a CC afterwards. This is looking like an economic opener. Yeah, Rax expand out of BattleB. Best case scenario for Future. Again, every game up until this point, we've been seeing double gas openers. Double gas into a faster factory, but with only 1 gas being taken, BattleB is going for a faster command center on the low ground, which means he will have that much less to work with. Which means Future has potential to snowball out of control. Oh boy. Yeah, command center is going to be on the way, so an economic opener out of BattleB, and Future, of course, being quite aggressive here. Things initially are working in favor of Future, and we'll see how we can get this done. So this isn't a build order win, not by any means, but it is going to be difficult for BattleB. He needs to preserve this Reaper. He cannot lose the first Reaper. He has to save it. He has to make sure he pulls the boys and helps protect it as well. BattleB, no SCV scout. Oh god, this is brutal. If there was an SCV scout, then he would know to preemptively pull some workers and have some SCVs to support. But BattleB did avoid that worker scout. Likewise, Future amassing Reapers. We do have a Marine on the low ground. We have the bunker on the way. Reapers, they get in and they can delay the factory. SCV goes down. Factory is delayed. Boys are being pulled. Can we target down that Reaper? And it comes out of the control of the micro here of Future. And it looks like 1 shot away. Grenade almost brings it. The Reaper does fall. We have 2 Marines left. Additional Reapers are on the way as well. The factory is going to finish. A bit of miscontrol there from Future. But this is getting out of hand. This is becoming far too much. It's getting out of control. The factory will not finish. We have a handful of Marines, but this is becoming too much. And with that, the final Marine does go down. Only SCVs remain. It takes far too long here to produce that Cyclone. And this is becoming game-ending damage as we chase down all of these workers. We dive into the bunker. BattleB making the best out of a bad situation. Doesn't want to go out. Not here, not like this. But again, it was just a really strong start for Future. Really unfortunate build of choice from BattleB, and yeah, just wasn't able to defend, wasn't able to hold on. Even if he cleans up all these Reapers, it's already too late. 12 workers. 12 workers have gone down. And yeah, this is even 1 Cyclone. Cyclones are good. They're not that good, Papi. They're not that good here. They're up against 6 Reapers. We dive on the Cyclone. It gets focused down. There's nothing left. GG gets called. And Future will qualify for the OSC Championships. GG. GG, well played. Future popping off here in game number 4. Again, really unfortunate that BattleB had happened to not just going for an economic opener, going for a Rax expand, but also not going for an SCV scout, so he didn't know that he had to prepare. I say an SCV scout, even just scouting around his bases. Didn't go for that, didn't realize what was happening, and things very quickly escalated out of control. Again, it was all about Future denying that factory for as long as possible, for focusing down the Marines and the Reapers. It was good enough control out of Future. He picked apart at the army and picked away at those workers. GG, congratulations. Congratulations, Future will be the 2nd player to qualify. And with that, we have one series remaining. We have we have one series remaining. We have one series left here. Rex may have fallen, BattleB may have fallen, but they both have one shot left.